you look at the league table, you might think Real Madrid are fine. If you look at the goal-scoring charts, you see Kylian Mbappe's name at the top, and you assume the super team is working. But if you actually watch the games, I mean really watch them, away from the highlights, you see something very different. You see a team that has lost its memory. For a decade, Real Madrid was the master of controlled chaos. They didn't need a system because they had the best problem solvers in the world, the most rigid tactical system in Europe, and the most chaotic, individualistic squad in the world. But this season, the 2025-26 campaign, has revealed a brutal truth. You cannot solve a structural problem with individual brilliance forever. The struggles we are seeing now, the disconnect in the press, the gaps in midfield, the isolation of Bellingham, aren't just bad form. They are the result of a massive identity crisis. On January 12, 2026, the experiment ended. Real Madrid sacked Xabi Alonso after just 7 months in charge. To the outsider, it looks like panic. They are second in La Liga, still in the Champions League, and possess the most expensive squad in football history. To understand why Madrid is struggling now, we have to respect what they lost. People used to joke that Carlo Ancelotti didn't have tactics, just vibes. That was a lie. Ancelotti's genius was relational play. He didn't tell Vinicius where to stand. He told him to go where the ball was. The team was fluid. If Vini drifted inside, Rodrigo dropped deep. If Mbappe went left, Valverde drove right. It was improvised jazz, held together by trust. Starting the 2025-26 season. Whether it's Xabi Alonso or any modern system manager, the philosophy is different. It's about positional play. Stay in your zone, wait for the ball, stretch the pitch. He brought positional play to the Bernabeu, a system where every player has a specific coordinate they must occupy. And that is where the war began, because you cannot tell Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. to stand in a grid and wait for the ball. They are hunters, not soldiers. Today we analyse the tactical suicide of the 2025-26 season. We look at the lazy press, the sacrifice of Jude Bellingham, and the man tasked with saving the wreckage. They say attacks win games, but defences win titles. If that is true, Real Madrid lost the title in October. The numbers are brutal. In the 2023-24 double-winning season, Madrid conceded just 26 goals in the entire league campaign. This season, under the new Highline system, they are on pace to concede 40 plus. But the scariest stat isn't goals conceded, it's expected goals against. 2 years ago, opponents needed a miracle to score. Today, the average opponent is generating 2 to 3 big chances per game against Madrid. Why? Because the fear factor is gone. Teams don't fear the counter-attack anymore. To understand the individual failures, we have to look at the tactical environment. Carlo Ancelotti protected his defenders. He knew Militao and Alaba were aggressive, so he often employed a low block. He allowed opponents to have the ball, compress the space, and let Courtois handle the long shots. It was bend, don't break. Xabi Alonso removed that protection. He demanded a high line. He asked 32-year-old Rudiger and Militao to defend 50 metres of open green grass behind them. It was a tactical mismatch. You cannot play a high line if your front three applies zero pressure on the ball carrier. It's like leaving your front door open and being surprised when you get robbed. The only reason it's not worse. If there is one hero in this mess, it is Thibaut Courtois. His goals-prevented stats are the only reason Madrid is still in the top 4. He is facing more shots per game, 5.67 saves, than at any point in his Madrid career. He isn't just a goalkeeper anymore, he is the entire defence, but even a wall cracks if you hit it enough times. The Trent paradox. The arrival of Trent Alexander-Arnold was supposed to be the final piece of the Galactico puzzle. Offensively, he is a genius. He has given Madrid a playmaker at right back, essentially replacing Kroos's passing range. But tactically, he is a luxury problem. In Ancelotti's old system, Valverde covered the right back. In this new system, Trent is often left isolated 1 versus 1. Opposing wingers know, attack the right. Madrid gained a quarterback, but lost a defender. And with Mbappe not pressing, the right side is an open highway. The centre-back crisis. The heart of the defence is suffering from 3 different diseases. Eder Militao, the ghost. Post-injury, the arrogance is gone. He hesitates in duels he used to dominate. He is playing with fear. This is the saddest part of the story. The Ada Militão of 2023 was a monster, fast, aggressive, dominant. But after 2 ACL injuries, the psychological scar is visible. You see it in the duels. He doesn't throw his body into challenges with the same recklessness. He is playing at 70% capacity, yet the system demands 110%. Real Madrid is waiting for a player who might never fully return. Antonio Rudiger, the chaos. For 3 years, Rudiger was the best one versus one defender in the world. He was a chaotic genius who thrived on physical intimidation. He is still a warrior, but without a structured partner, his aggression is becoming a liability. But in 2026, with the high line exposing him, his lack of recovery pace is finally showing. He is picking up more yellow cards than ever because he is arriving a split second late. The crazy Rudiger antics used to be charming. Now they look like panic. He steps out to win the ball, misses, and leaves a crater behind him. David Alaba, the legs. The intelligence is there, but the recovery pace is fading. In a high-line system, Alaba is being asked to sprint backward 40 metres against 20-year-old strikers. It's a physical mismatch. The left-back black hole. On the left, the manager has to pick his poison. Ferland Mendy, the wall. Defensively elite, but offensively invisible. When he plays, Vini Jr. gets double-teamed because opponents ignore Mendy. Fran Garcia, the runner. He offers overlapping speed, but defensively, he is lightweight. In the Champions League, elite wingers bully him physically. Real Madrid has 2 left-backs, but they don't add up to one complete player. The fading voice. Dani Carvajal is the soul of this team, but the body can't do what the mind wants anymore. He is the captain without legs. He screams, he organises, he fights, but he gets beaten for pace. The tragedy is that the team needs his leadership desperately, but playing him creates a tactical weakness. It is the classic hero's twilight. With Carvajal aging out, Madrid turn to youth, like Alvaro Carreras, or stopgap solutions. These are modern, attacking fullbacks. They are excellent going forward. But in this system, when the winger loses the ball, the fullback is often 60 yards up the pitch. This leaves the centre-backs completely naked. Every counter-attack against Madrid this season looks the same. A simple ball into the channel, where the fullback should be. The panic buttons. And finally the depth. When the starters fail, Madrid turns to Dean Huijsen and Raúl Asensio. Huijsen, tall, elegant and great on the ball, but inexperienced. He tries to play pretty passes in dangerous zones. Asensio, the La Fabrica product. He has the heart, but is he ready for a Champions League semi-final? These kids are talented, but they are being thrown into a burning building and asked to put out the fire. It is unfair to expect them to fix a broken system. Xabi Alonso's success at Bayer Leverkusen was built on a compact, relentless press. Everyone moved as one unit. But at Real Madrid, he hit a wall. The data shows that Real Madrid's pressing intensity dropped by 15% this season compared to Alonso's Leverkusen teams. Why? Because the front two didn't buy in. Tactical cameras revealed a recurring nightmare. Alonso screaming for a high press, while Mbappe and Vinicius rested on the halfway line. This created a massive gap, a broken chain. The midfield, Valverde and Tchouaméni, had to sprint 40 metres to cover the space the forwards left open. They were doing the running for 3 people. By the 60th minute, the midfield engine was dead. We also have to talk about the ghost in the machine, Toni Kroos. For a decade, Kroos was the pause button. When the game got too chaotic, he put his foot on the ball and slowed the heartbeat of the stadium. Real Madrid still hasn't replaced Toni Kroos. And I don't mean they didn't buy a midfielder, I mean they didn't replace his function. The last 2 seasons without him, Madrid has had no brake pedal. Every possession becomes a sprint. They only have fast forward. Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, these are elite athletes. They are runners. Alonso tried to force them to be controllers, but it's not their nature. Tchouaméni is a destroyer, not a conductor. Camavinga is a carrier, not a controller. The result? Matches become basketball games. End-to-end transition wars. It is suicide against tactical teams like Barcelona or Manchester City. Look at the Super Cup against Barcelona. Madrid needed to slow the game down, but they couldn't. They kept sprinting until they ran off a cliff. The biggest victim of this structural war was Jude Bellingham. Under Ancelotti, Bellingham was a box crasher. Look at his heat maps from his debut season versus now. He was effectively a striker, scoring 23 goals in his debut season. Under Alonso, he became a firefighter. Because the forwards weren't tracking back, Alonso was forced to play Bellingham deeper to protect the defence. Instead of making runs into the box, Jude was spending his energy plugging holes at left back or covering for aggressive wing backs. His stats confirm the tragedy. His touches in the opposition box dropped by 40%. He didn't forget how to play. The system forced him to become a defensive workhorse to compensate for the stars ahead of him. Now, let's look at the front line. Kylian Mbappe has scored 18 goals in La Liga this season. On paper, he is doing his job. But football is played with 11 men. And out of possession, Real Madrid is playing with 9. Analysts have called Madrid's press this season a damp sugar cube because it collapses instantly. When the opponent builds from the back, Mbappe and Vini rarely cut the passing lanes with intensity. This forces the midfield like Valverde, Bellingham, Camavinga to sprint 40 yards to cover the space. They do it for 60 minutes. But by the 70th minute, they are dead. That is why Madrid is conceding so many late chances. It's not the defence's fault, it's the exhaustion caused by the front two. And then there is the positional clash. We all knew it was coming, but seeing it is different. Both Vini and Mbappe want the same square metre of grass, the left half space. There have been moments this season. We saw it against Atletico, where they literally ran into each other. To accommodate this, the manager has tried to push Vini wider or Mbappe more central. But neither looks comfortable. Mbappe in the centre is isolated. He needs a target man to play off, but he is supposed to be the target man. It's a tactical loop that hasn't been solved. The problem everyone predicted but nobody solved. Both Vinicius and Mbappe want to occupy the exact same square metre of grass, the left half space. Ancelotti solved this with vibes, letting them rotate naturally. Alonso tried to solve it with structure, forcing Vini wide and Mbappe central. It backfired. Vini felt isolated on the touchline. Mbappe felt isolated among the centre-backs. Instead of a partnership, they looked like two solo artists fighting for the same microphone. The new era. So why pull the trigger now? It wasn't just the loss to Barcelona, it was the mutiny. Reports suggest the locker room had lost faith in the rigid system. The players felt handcuffed by the tactics. Florentino Pérez saw a team that was less than the sum of its parts. He realised that you cannot impose a German-style system on a squad built for Brazilian freestyle. So who picks up the pieces? As of right now, Álvaro Arbeloa has been appointed as the caretaker manager. He is the safe choice. A former Madridista who understands the dressing room politics better than the tactics board. His job isn't to build a new system, it is to delete Alonso's system. Expect a return to Ancelotti-style freedom. Just go out and play. Now under Arbeloa, the golden cage is open. The structure is gone, the chaos is back. And honestly, that is usually when Real Madrid is at their most dangerous. But if you look at the data from La Fabrica, he is something much more dangerous. Arbeloa didn't just manage the youth team, he created a machine. His juvenile A side was arguably the most dominant in the club's academy history. They didn't just win, they annihilated teams. They averaged 3.5 goals per game and played with a vertical intensity that terrified opponents. Arbeloa is a Mourinista disciple. He believes in us against the world. And right now, for a locker room that feels attacked by the media and confused by tactics, a siege mentality is exactly what the doctor ordered. This fits the DNA of this specific squad perfectly. Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Rodrigo, these are Ferraris. Alonso is trying to drive them in a school zone. Arbeloa is going to take the speed limiters off. Expect to see the double pivot disappear. Arbeloa will likely return to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 that prioritises getting the ball to the wings instantly. It's not total football, it's total attack. But the rumours for the summer are already swirling. Fabrizio Romano has reported 2 names on Florentino's wish list. Jurgen Klopp, the dream candidate. A man who builds systems around chaos rather than trying to suppress it. Zinedine Zidane, the return of the king. The only man Vini and Mbappe will listen to without question. The failure of Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid will be studied by tacticians for years. It proves that in modern football, you cannot just copy-paste a winning tactic. The system must fit the players, not the other way around. So, is the season over? Of course not. This is Real Madrid. They can play terribly for 89 minutes and win with a moment of magic. That is their heritage. But the control is gone. The feeling of invincibility is gone. To fix this, one of two things must happen. The sacrifice. One of the superstars accepts a lesser role for the good of the system, like Rooney did for Ronaldo. The system change. The manager abandons the rigid structure and returns to Ancelotti-style chaos, trusting the players to figure it out. What do you think? Was Xabi Alonso treated unfairly, or was he simply the wrong fit for these players? And who should take over in the summer? Klopp or Zidane? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for the next videos.